Business has been kind of slow these days, thanks to Sheriff Gorman Truart. He's been coming down hard on my competition and anyone else he deems unlawful. I've been playing it safe by keeping a low profile, but as my landlord recently reminded me, the rent is late. He says he's going to pay me a visit tomorrow to collect, so I'll have to go amateur for some quick cash. The warehouses by the docks should fit the bill. In addition to the usual shipping traffic, there's also a small smuggling operation sponsored by the local underground. Not too many guards, lots of dark corners, and several points of entry should make this job painless and profitable. Maybe I'll even have something left over for myself once the rent is paid. Wasn't that long ago that I was planning on my retirement. Now the only thing that's getting retired is my standards. If things get any worse, I'll have to go back to picking pockets in the streets.
Shipping and receiving. Difficulty hard. Gilver knows he's sending out a very important shipment tomorrow, but what he doesn't know is that it's being redirected to your fence. Find a new shipping label and put it on the big crate outside of Gilver's office. The landlord is coming tomorrow. You'll need to steal at least 650 loot to cover the rent and other expenses. There are many unarmed workers around the warehouses. Killing them would bring unwanted attention your way. After you're done, you'll need to get out of the area so you don't get caught. Return to the stack of crates where you first entered the warehouse district. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Thief the Metal Age. In the last episode, we started playing the game. We covered some of the special house rules that I will use during our time playing, which includes purchasing all tips whenever they are available. Try my best not to kill anyone, any living human, in any of these missions that I am in. One quick save per video for the missions or episodes I am doing. And try to do these missions with no more than 3 knockouts in a mission, or whatever the restriction is per mission that I'm in. I think on hard, some of our missions will require us to only have like 2 or maybe even no knockouts in them, so we'll see how well we can manage that. By the way, in case you're curious, on this difficulty setting, we have to find some spice. We need 200 more loot, and we can't kill anyone in here. But I intend to at least try my hardest not to kill anyone in this mission. Let's get to the loadout screen, our first loadout screen together. Oh, for Metal Age at least. So, there's been quite a few new things added here in Thief Metal Age. We saw that we have flares, and we can purchase some now for the items for sale, and there have been more potions added since the last time we had played through this game. We're going to get to see slow fall and invisibility potions. There are still speed and healing potions available as well. And, as I said I was going to do, we're going to go ahead and read about everything that we haven't read about before, which is everything that we currently see on the screen. So let's go ahead and read this stuff before we go ahead and spend some of our hard-earned money on more equipment to make this mission easier for us. Our blackjack. This weapon will knock out an unexpected target with little noise and no blood. It can even knock out suspecting targets if they have been blinded, or you manage to hit them before they complete uttering their shocked phrase. You can even knock them out from the front of them, if I recall correctly, when they're blinded. But I will attempt to not do that if I can. I think it's much more realistic for us to knock them out in the back than in the front of their face. We have our lockpicks. These tools will let you unlock most locks with a little work. These work the same way that they had worked in Thief Gold or Thief the Dark Project. 3 water arrows are what we're starting with. The water arrow does not do any damage, but it douses torches and other burning objects, and cleans up bloodstains. I don't think the enemies really react to bloodstains in the Metal Age either, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Not that I intend to leave a whole lot of blood lying around, because that means we were involved in combat, and I'm going to try my best to avoid doing that. Our sword. In addition to putting holes in an enemy, a sword can block a foe's attack. If you're blocking a foe's attack, then you are facing them with your sword drawn, as opposed to running away, where you never have to fight them. So if we're using this weapon to parry, things have gone extremely bad for us, if we're forced to use the sword that way. Mostly, this will be used to put holes in an enemy, if push comes to shove and we're forced to do that. A slow fall potion. This potion arrests some of your downward velocity when taken, and reduces the effect of gravity. These slow, I believe, your movement down a bit as well. So, don't think you can use this and sprint to an opening. They also last for only a few seconds. I want to say they last for like 4 seconds. And so it's not... It's a bit like a Featherfall spell from the old 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, because it doesn't stop you falling, it just slows your fall. And the effect is more pronounced when immediately drank and begins to fade quickly every second after you've drank it. So generally you will want to be falling as you drink it, or drink it just before you decide to make a large fall, and hopefully you'll touch the ground just as the effect ends. Our compass. No description. 20 broadhead arrows. These are sharp arrows. They do more damage to a target who is unaware of you than one who is, as a heads up, and preferably more damage, I think, gets done to them in the back when you strike them. You can actually assassinate people with a single arrow in this way. For other items that are for sale, we have healing potions. They restore lost health. Flash bombs. This grenade will produce a bright flash of light, blinding enemies or the unwary thief. We're looking at it. I think we used one of these in the last episode to good effect in order to knock out that one female guard that was chasing after us. The flash effect is different here in Thief 2 than it was for Thief 1, which looked like it just, in Thief 1, or Thief the Dark Project / Thief Gold, it would look like it changed the gamut a bit. Here it actually blinds you. They changed the effect to have a bright light, then you get blackness for a few seconds as you recover. You will recover from the flash bombs faster than your foes will, but you still don't want to look at them when you throw them. 5 flares. Each flare will illuminate your surroundings for a short period of time. Moss arrows. This arrow sends out the cloud of moss upon impact, which settles into a soft and silent carpet. The effect is actually surprisingly large, all things considered, and I believe reduces the amount of noise you make the most. In other words, the terrain this produces will soften your footsteps so that they make no sound. You still, however, to my knowledge, cannot walk on a moss arrow against and successfully knock out someone from behind if that target is fully aware that you have been here. In other words, they've seen you, you've attacked them, or knocked out someone, and they watched you do it. There's an invisibility potion for sale. This potion makes you invisible. Beware. It only lasts a few seconds and does not make you inaudible. Indeed. You can run past enemies, but they'll be suspicious that they heard someone just run past them, and they'll look for you, but they won't find you as long as this potion is still in effect. I think, just like the slow fall potion, you can expect 4 to 5 seconds of the effect before it fades. And that's all the items that are for sale. Or rather, all the items that we want to read about. So, let's begin purchasing stuff. First off, we have some papyrus. It doesn't say tip on it, but it certainly sounds like a tip to me, so I think we're going to purchase this. Someone wants to give you some advice. For a fee. Purchase all tips. Now, before I begin purchasing equipment for this mission, I want to say one more time that I have played through Thief the Metal Age in its entirety once, and only once, on screen. That was the last time that I recorded the game. I have never got past, like, the 4th mission in this game more than once. I have done the first 4 missions repeatedly, but it has been some time since I've last done these missions. Not since the last time I think I played through this game for my channel. So it has been some years. I remember this mission, though, being very difficult. There are going to be quite a few guards walking around and other workers in this warehouse. This is a large area, too. This is not a small mission like the Hammerite Penitentiary. There's quite a bit involved in this mission. Going in a certain direction is probably, if I remember correctly, if you go about how you're approaching the warehouse from certain directions is far easier than others, and I can't remember what directions those are. I do know that there are some devices that require us to input codes in order to open certain warehouse doors, and we're going to be doing that to access most of the different spots in the warehouse. That's all I remember about this mission. So, when it comes to equipment, let's get started. So, we're probably going to need a moss arrow. I do remember there being a bit of metal flooring all over this warehouse. So let's take one of those to start. I don't like starting a mission without the healing potion. This will make up for the fact if we take a fall, or heaven forbid, we actually get caught and take some damage from weaponry. Let's take one of these. 725 remains. We might as well purchase a few more water arrows then. We'll purchase 2 of those. And that leaves 625. I seem to remember most of the light sources in this mission, I think, are electrical in nature. We'll have to find switches to turn them on or off, if they can even be turned on or off. 625 is enough for an invisibility potion if I want it, but that's so expensive. And since we're starting with only like 1,100 gold, I'd like to not purchase one of those. I think, though, we will purchase another slow fall potion. Let's buy one of these. And I think we'll buy a flash bomb. And 225 left. It's enough for all the water arrows if I want them. We could take yet another slow fall potion. I don't think I'm going to need another one of them, though. Oh, I suddenly remembered. There are spiders in this mission. Not many, but there are a few. Garrett doesn't know that they're here, though, or I would purchase more broadhead arrows. He thinks that we're going after mostly just guards, and that means we don't want to shoot them if we can avoid it. So we're not going to purchase any of these. But this is enough money to purchase all the flares if I wanted them. I don't really want to buy flares. I could sell back 2 water arrows and buy another flash bomb. Let's do that. Okay, so there's a starting equipment purchased. Let's go ahead and get into the game, and then we'll go ahead and read that tip. Okay, what did we pick up here? DM Gilver is one of the city's most popular merchants, and he keeps his base of operations in Building A of Rapone's dockside warehouses. Porter is also a tenant of Building A. He runs a tiny art gallery that sells cheap statues and vases. Most of your loot can be found in these areas. We're still going to need to visit, I think, every single location if we want to clear this warehouse out, but it's good to know that most of the loot we're looking for is in Building A. I can see the archer there, looking out. He's not facing in this direction at the moment. A flare and a flash bomb. we're going to need to remember all of these numbers that we see, along with the structures that they lead to. Here's our map, and I don't think I explained the map in the last episode, so let's cover it really quickly. Areas that we have been in will be colored blue on the map. The area that we are currently in is highlighted bright yellow, in this case here. You can leave notes on the map in the Thief series, something I only discovered in the when I was playing Thief the Dark Project. I didn't realize you could do that. We'll be doing that here in particular because we'll need to begin marking the numbers at each of these locations. For example, this 0624, which is outside this door. We're going to want to mark that that's here. We also, I believe, have a spot where we can actually write notes in Thief the Metal Age, if we so desire, for example, to keep, well, obviously, notes about what's going on and where we need to go. Let's take a look at the map as well, something I should be doing before we actually get started. So it looks like this is the general large overview of Building A and Building B. So I probably shouldn't have marked this here because I'm not going to have room to mark down every single number. It's the overall drawing of the entire warehouse and the docks where supplies are dropped off to them. Oh, we actually have the numbers written down for all these locations already. Okay, so I don't even need to write them down. So we see that there's 0624 is Lady Angelica's experimental apothecary. So that's what we're looking at right here. This warehouse door will lead to it. Bay doors and elevators. We have quite a good detailed map here. This elevator would bring you to the upper portion of Building A. And it would bring you to, it looks like she has a second floor as well. Where is Gilver's? Here's Lord Porter. We just read that he has, like, cheap statues for sale. But I don't see... Oh, here it is. Gilver's Exporting Company. 7933. And Building B seems to be dedicated to some group called the Mechanists, from what we can see at the moment. And the third floor contains just a conference room and where Rapone's located. We might be able to find a key in one of these rooms in order to access the other rooms or warehouses. But we're going to approach this area through whichever means is most convenient. Okay, I'm not allowed to stay here and stare at that. Let's wait here and see if this guard decides to walk past us. And he is. More importantly, does he have anything now? Well, not more importantly, but does he have anything on his belt? No, I see no keys on him. When he walks back, though, we can take a peek and see what that note says. Yep, sure enough, nothing on the belt. Potion testers needed. Inquire within. Lockpicks won't gain entry to this room. The tumbler there. You can enter the numbers by the warehouses on a tumbler, and it will open the warehouse door associated with it. It's hard to make out, but I can see a ladder there, coming down from the catwalk above it. Our lockpicks don't even work on this door. It must be opened via a button or a lever on the other side, or somewhere else inside Building A. We should stay here just a tad and see if that guard patrols back. Coming this way. I don't think he does. I can hear another guard approaching at the moment as well.
I'll show them someday I can do what they deserve.
J. Rampone, Vice President. It sounds like he's working rather late. Noah Germ, Lens Grinder. I hold thy work in much regard, and thou knowest it was on mine own recommendation that my brotherhood contracted thy work. I trust by now that thou hast received a small shipment of a Danziono crystal. By the coming weekend I shall need 10 lenses ground from the crystal thou hast received. Each lens must span 3 units in width, with a breadth of exactly 2 units. Grind thou 1 face concave, and 1 convex. Make haste, and then bring me thy work for my approval. Friend Capeza, 0457. I'm going to want to write that down. 7 Minal stakes. Lady Angelica. So one of these must be notes to be received from the other. to, like, someone leaves a message here, and someone else picks it up from down below when they come in, I suppose. Our yearly inspection of your space was last week. Our inspector found that he could not get to the second floor because the elevator button on the first floor was broken. Why didn't you report this problem? Please see me about this matter. I don't like it when a piece of equipment on my property is not working. We have also been receiving complaints from E.B. Bramark. He rents the office space below your second floor office, and he claims to be hearing odd noises late at night. Please look into that. J. Rapone, Vice President. That was for Lord Porter's. This guy has a key on his belt. Lucky Sulentra, entrepreneur. You have been evicted. Take 2 days to clear out your things, or they will be removed by the management. Wow. And the president has 2 messages going to him. I was recently contracted by the mechanists to develop special lenses for them. I just received a small shipment of rare and valuable anonizo crystals for this purpose. For security reasons, I would like to request the installation of a metal face into my area within the next week. I don't have the funds to replace the crystals if they get stolen, and I hear the mechanists can be unforgiving. Noah Germ. Our tenant, Lucky Soluntura, has not paid his rent in quite a while. No one has seen him for weeks, and I've seen wanted posters in the city streets with his picture on it lately. I've been suspicious of him for quite a while, and I'd bet you his golden dice that he was running a gambling ring out of that space. I don't think he'll be back with the bluecoats looking for him. I have put in an eviction notice on his area, 0266. And I plan on clearing out the place for a few days to rent it to Gonzalez. I felt bad that we had to throw Gonzalez out to make room for Capeza, so I cut him a deal on this space, seeing that it is smaller than his old area. Speaking of Capeza, could you ask him to keep the noise down? J. Rapone, Vice President.
Marilyn, of course.
Mechanist Technology. This device is now configured for thee so that the managers of the warehouse may as easily enter any tenant's area at any time. When thou wishest to open such a locked area, thou must needest enter the 4 numerals of its address into this keyed device. When thou hast entered the correct number, see that it shall display on the dials to thy left. This shall cause the large green bay door of thy desired area to open. Thou mayest only open 1 door at a time, and if thou open another door, the first shall close. If thou hast any questions, direct them at once to me. Friend Capeza. We'll take a better look in there once this guard leaves. We'll talk a little bit more about the game briefly too while we're waiting for him to walk away. You'll note that the game became a lot more complex all of a sudden. I mean that from a technical standpoint, in addition to the gameplay. The doors now have windows in them, which was not the case to my recollection in the original Thief, the Dark Project or Thief Gold. I like this change. It adds a little more realistic feel to how different things can be. And we're going to start... Oh, hello. A key. A dark key. Different than the golden one we saw earlier. Building a key and a normal key. Well, I would like to investigate the manager's office. We'll come back for it. I can see the standing guards downstairs. Just like the first Thief game, patrols are sometimes waiting around to discuss things, to give you some lore and other background information about what is going on in the city or the area that you find yourself in. If you don't approach them, however, they will stay there waiting to speak their lines. It may be a little metagamey, but I'm going to try to avoid guards I see standing around it near each other, because the less patrols we have to worry about, the easier this place is to navigate. With this other silver key, let's see if one of these can't open the tumbler room here that we saw earlier.
Hello? Well, seems clear. Hello? Anyone there?
What did we just find? It sounded like an arrow. We got a rope arrow! Okay. That will make navigating the entire location much easier. I didn't realize there were rope arrows in this mission. Or I forgot they were here. Each warehouse will be generally the same, in that there will be a lever to open and shut the main warehouse bay door in it, and a lock on the which allows access through the standard door. I will be unlocking all the standard doors and trying to rush into the warehouse to shut the bay doors for every one of them that we decide we want to enter. Jabril, 50. That's my final offer. By the teeth of my ancestors. I nearly think I could journey to the forest and cut my own greenery. Pagan Bennetts be damned, rather than pay such prices. Lord Singoli. The technology in the city seems to have also made strides since Garrett had defeated the trickster. Elevators in this warehouse, electrical lights. This Mechanist's Guild is likely behind such. It's good to see such progress, I suppose, but it sounds like it's coming at the cost of the more natural grounds around the city. A healing potion. I didn't realize we found a noisemaker somewhere, or that we started with one. Noisemaker in Thief the Metal Age are pretty much exactly the same as they were in the Dark Project, which is to say, not really worth using. An invisibility potion, and I think that's another slow fall. Pull lever to open door. Emergency use only. This, I believe, leads back out to the catwalk.
Making noise now.
Let's wait here until we hear that guard open that door. We know there's 2 on a looped patrol around here. That is 1 guard leaving that room. I think it's the other guard we want to wait for. Yes, if we tail this guard, we have more time than if we were to tail the other one. Though I suppose we don't need to tail either, but I would like to investigate the manager's office now.
Is someone there?
Weekly financial report. TM Blackheart, rent paid in full. Lucky Solantura, rent 3 weeks overdue. DM Gilver, rent paid in full. Venek Kilgore, rent due next week. E. Beam Brammick, rent paid by DM Gilver last week. Sid Capezza, rent paid by Mechanists. Lord Porter, rent paid in full. Lady Angelica, rent due next week. Svin Meinl, rent paid in full. Nora Germ, rent paid in full. Not sure it was worth that one, wasting one of my 3 knockouts on this manager, since there was only like 50. Yeah, about 50 worth of wealth in this room. The other guard is approaching, so we'll wait here for him to leave and tail him. I think what we're going to do is go back out this way in order to access that one tumbler shack again. We'll plug in Bramark's code and access his warehouse next.
Dun, 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 ba-dum. Dum, ba-dum.
We cannot make that jump, but it's good to know there's an open crate up there. We can probably do some mantling to make it up there later. Oh, I forgot to input the code. Darn it, okay. I thought I had opened this up. Let's wait here for this guard to patrol back. And then we'll tail him. It does give us a chance to look out over the warehouse yard here. It is quite busy.
That can't be me.
Okay, what's the number that we need? 7732, I believe, is what it is. When he passes us, we'll open this door and plug in that number. want to wait until he passes us, going to our left, and then we'll take a peek and see when we can make a move into the warehouse. That archer has to turn around. The melee guard in the distance is also facing us at this moment, but I think we can still do it. State of Gilver Exporting Company. Our shipment to be exported overseas to Governor Horridge is ready. It is waiting over in Gilver's area and will be shipped out tomorrow afternoon. Having to replace last month's shipment that was lost at sea is putting the company in serious financial trouble. Gilver took out a loan from the First City Bank and Trust to cover the extra expenses. If we don't increase profits next month, then we won't have enough money to stay in business. Fortunately, we just received an unexpected order this morning, and this will bring in some extra money that we can use to pay back the loan. I just had a new batch of shipping labels printed out, and will bring them over to Gilver in the morning. I feel really bad about this. But we need that money, and we need to redirect that shipment someplace else.
I saw something. Just the wind, I guess.
Let's next unlock Porter's Warehouse 6937.
Taking a break.
Remember that these tumbler rooms are probably just left here for the convenience of the manager or staff in order to access these warehouses when they need to. I'm guessing that normally they would never do this, as it was quite an invasion of privacy for the owners who own these particular warehouse compartments. But its installation does allow us to access these. Without it, we would, as far as I can tell, not be able to access any of them. They must have redesigned the entire warehouse to utilize this tumbler system.
Something moved there. Well, seems clear.
Wow, this got really awkward. The door to the warehouse, bay door, is over there.
Nobody been here.
Here we go.
Thought I saw something.
My plan is the same for each of these, by the way. Get the door open, wait until the guards are gone, and run inside. If there is something waiting for us inside one of these, we will discover it on our way in. Which is to say that I'm praying there's nothing, like no guard or sentry, no monsters inside one of these rooms. Nice spacious area here to show off his work. It occurs to me how unlike a real burglary we tend to be as Garrett. I tend to shut doors, and in the case of this, what is this? Where I guess some funds are placed for people purchasing the statues, I will shut them again. When my house was burglarized, the stuff was just moved wantonly out of the way, because speed is of the most importance generally, not secrecy. Other than you don't want someone to watch you enter someone's home. Once you're in, you don't know how much time you have until they return. So being as quick as possible is what we should do. But because of how this works, we know we have enough time to explore these places fully. Generally, without worrying about the owners of the warehouse walking back here until tomorrow morning. And we'll be out of here long before that occurs. I cannot but note there's no statue of the Hammerite fighting the trickster off in this hallway, though all these paintings we saw in the last Thief game. Let thine arrow fly into mine crystal eye. $250 loot so far. Not doing very well. This was supposed to be one of the more lucrative buildings, and there is nothing in here. Except a handful of statues. Probably worth 15 or 25 worth of wealth each. The button is broken on this elevator, but that does not necessarily stop us from using it. I suppose this is where he constructs the statues and then moves them downstairs? Seems to be a workshop area. I like opening these doors so I have a means of running through these warehouses that I have searched. But by unlocking these doors, the guards will also be able to run through them. Something to consider. Even though it's a secret to enter this room, I see nothing in here worth taking. But it is another way to access this upper area than have to risk going through the warehouse yard again. I suppose it will let you also navigate around the guards a little easier to unlock these rooms. In any case, where are we going next? Oh, we didn't find this little chamber, did we? I did not. Okay. I am in this hall. There it is. There was a room to search here. Today's appointments. Garrett Bernal, charge 150. Chris Leskowski, charge 150. James Geiger, charge 175. Adam Ailes, new client, charges count rate of 100. Norman Druert, free of charge, as normal. That sounds awful lot like Truert to me. John Lauberti, feel free to charge this guy as much as you want, he's weird. Mistress Carey, she's here for instruction. Sean DeJesus, charge 125. He tips better when we charge less. Mark Ulsey, find a reason to send him away. I think he's an undercover bluecoat. Lord Porter, do you know what room this is? I did not make the connection until right now. Elegant looking. Very quiet. Some noise being detected up here on occasion. Gentleman's name. Gentleman's name. Gentleman's name. The only girl here is here for instruction. Prostitute. It's a whorehouse. Or they use this room for it occasionally. The statues down below must be a front to look like a... what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say normal, but that's the wrong word to use. A well-respected business front. Establishment. Not much of worth was in there, unfortunately, though. We're up to 330. Halfway towards the amount we need to complete the mission. Speaking of which, let's do the... Oh my goodness. A quick save? That was frightening. The next chamber we want to enter... It should probably be the Gilvert Exporting Company. Alternatively, we can try to go back to the crates we saw and enter Sid Cepeza's place. 0457. Let's do that actually next. some flares and another statue.
This place looks like an inventor's shop. Probably a valuable gadget or two around here.
Some silver and some crystal. A scouting orb. A new item here in Thief 2 Metal Age. Let's show you how it works. Throw it, and then Garrett will be able to use his mechanical eye to look through it. There we are, actually. You can barely see us looking back at this. Useful to toss it over like a wall or something to see what's there, or down perhaps an elevator shaft to see if it's safe for you to fall down below. No one will remark about this eye being present, even if it is a bit suspicious. You can retrieve them after you use them. I recognize what that is. We will see more of those in the future. I guess I can tell you. This is a sentry. When certain metal faces see you, this will activate. And when it does so, it will begin shooting cannonballs at you. They're very dangerous. Thankfully, this one is not plugged in or turned on at the moment. Feels like there's a secret here to open this up, if I'm being honest. This feels like a secret compartment's on the other side of it. I'm willing to use a flare here. Well, if there is one, I don't see it. Alright, I see nothing in here that would open that. One last quick check in this area. Alright, nothing. So next... would be Kilgore weaponsmithing if I feel like opening 0590. That's past the guard, however. Here. It's going to be tricky to navigate past. Maybe we can instead access this building from the other side of the warehouse. If I'm going to do that, then we'll be passing by Lucky Solentura's next. So 0266 is what we want to input. It's a bit too risky to fiddle with this when the guard's around. I don't think he notices actually when you press the tumblers, but I don't like how it kind of breaks the realism for us to be standing inside the room, hitting them and hearing the chimes go off. I feel like the guard should totally notice that happening, so we'll wait until he passes us going to the right before we begin interacting with it. We take stock of our current supplies while we wait. 2 scouting orbs, 2 slowfall potions, 1 invisibility potion, 2 healing, some keys, the shipping label we need. $420 worth of wealth so far. Oh, I forgot what number it was. What was that number? 0266. I'm hoping to not have to come back down this way. So while we're here, we're going to try to get up onto that top level crate and search it. Slowfall potion, flare, flash bomb. Uh-oh. Noisemaker, flare, flash bomb. Getting out of here may be a bit tricky. We'll have to use one of our scouting orbs to help us with this. We are inside that crate. Oh, looks like this is the perfect time to go. Let's do it. Hesitated. I shouldn't have. We're gonna wait for this archer to walk back, and then we'll try crossing the yard to get over to that shadow over there. I wouldn't mind having that orb back, though I don't actually see where I threw it at the moment.
Nobody better be taffing around down here.
Probably just the sir checking up on things.
In the Metal
Oh,
Age,
it's so wet
you
around
can
here.
stop an archer from shooting you
Boots and getting some
if you
money.
take the arrows from his quiver.
Can't ever find anything.
I believe then they will just have to run and call for help. Lucky Slenturus is right there. Could use one of our noisemakers to maybe distract a few of these guards.
Oh, it's so wet around here. And a pair of boots and some money.
Thankfully, though, that wasn't needed. Looks like he was doing some gambling in here. The key's likely in this room for that vault? Why can't I think of the name of it at the moment? You know, after doing this now, this is the second video where I don't have the auto equip on, I think I'm going to re-enable it before I record the next episode. It's too useful to see what we just picked up. Oh, and that time the key vanished from our inventory after we used it. I'm assuming it's money in here. Let's see. 50 bucks. Getting out of here is going to be a bit tricky. We want to go this way to the Gilbert Exporting Company, or here to where Noah Germ is. Noah Germ's the gentleman who does the cutting for the crystals for the mechanists, and I would feel a little guilty stealing the crystals from him, so I think I'm going to skip his location at this moment, and we'll try to get over to the Gilbert Exporting Company. Oh, it was a pair of lucky dice actually inside that chest. Interesting.
I hear Captain Davidson came into port about 4 hours ago.
That's what I heard. I hope that dirty smuggler brought us some spice. There's none to be found anywhere within this cursed city anymore.
I know what you mean. I used to grow my own spice, as well as fruits and vegetables. But all my crops died months ago, and won't grow back no matter what I try.
It's as if all the plant life in the city up and died. Have you noticed that all the trees in Eastport are wilted and dead?
Maybe Davidson will smuggle in trees next. I don't know where he's getting the spice from, but his prices are steep. He's quickly becoming a rich man. Thought I saw something. Hello? Hello?
We are quite visible. There is no... Okay, here we go. We need one of those tumbler rooms. This is warehouse B that we're next to, where the mechanists are. The shipping that our fence wants. Okay, that's the objective completed, obviously. Small office, I guess, where he meets with people who want things shipped, if he's working out of his warehouse. Journal entry number 4279. I don't know what is happening to my business. Every attempt to gain extra profit only leads to more loss. On paper, every business plan that I devise with Bramwich seems flawless, but in practice, they always fall through. Last month's overseas export to Governor Hortridge was supposed to make us rich, but the ship never made it to its destination. I suspect piracy. I had to take out a loan just to cover last month's losses. I was hoping to have this reshipment to the governor out the door 2 days ago, but my workers seem to have a hard time toting that barge and lifting that bale when I really need them. I would fire them all in a second, but I wouldn't be able to find anyone to work with what little I can afford to pay. I just finalized the governor's shipment. I had my secretary run over to Bramwork's office to grab the shipping label so that it can be attached to the ongoing crate. I'm going over to the crippled barrack for a drink, and it's back here for more paperwork. I'm gonna feel kind of bad for this, but there is a secret in this room. I don't know how I remember this crap, but I do. Unless maybe he rented this room and didn't actually cover this with that tapestry. Can we read the shipping label, I wonder? Handle with care. I think that's what that first sentence says. I think the word poop is the end word, but I can't. I can't make it out. These crates are too suspicious. I suspect there is something up in here. That's all the funds we need. I'd be remiss if we didn't take more from this location. We are still in the export company, so this poor gentleman is losing everything he's got here. We have a single rope arrow, but I think we can do some mantling. Oh, to make it up here. Hello. There is a chest, but it's facing the other direction. Alright, everyone. I think that should do it for this episode. I think we also completed our... Yeah, we completed our loot objective. Alright, we just did that with the 650 loot. Nice. So we technically don't have to steal anything else if we don't want to from anyone else. I feel really bad for some of the people in this warehouse. They're not making much money. In fact, we could leave now, if we so desire. But I think we should investigate a little more of this location and see if we can come up with more loot. So we'll do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will hopefully see you then.